Mr. Otway, we're here to discuss how Chevening Scholarship has helped strengthening the relations between Serbia and the UK over the years, but also to talk about Chevening Scholarship as one of the best opportunities for Serbian young people to study abroad with a scholarship. So can you tell us more about Chevening program?
Yes, sure. So Chevening is the UK government's global scholarship program, and this year is actually marking its 40th year. And in that time we've managed to fund scholarships for thousands and thousands of students from all over the world, particularly here in Serbia. So we fund postgraduate degrees, one-year postgraduate courses for people who've already completed an undergraduate degree and done a couple of years at least in employment. Because what we're looking for are the people who think that in the future they'll be opinion formers, they'll be leaders in their field, and really want to build those connections between the UK and Serbia.
What expenses does the Chevening Scholarship cover for a student from Serbia going abroad for master studies?
So the first thing it covers is the entire cost of the course. And then on top of that, there's everything that goes along with that. So of course, travel to and from the UK, the sort of expenses when you're in the UK in terms of the courses, but also crucially accommodation and a monthly stipend so that people can live and enjoy being in the UK.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that a student going to study with the Chevening Scholarship can be completely relaxed and comfortable with their life in the United Kingdom for a year?
I would hope so, but of course it depends on the lifestyle. And I think one of the risks of going to the UK for such a short period of time is that you want to get the most out of it. So you want to, hopefully our students want to travel around England and Scotland and Northern Ireland and Wales. They want to see many things. But broadly speaking, most of the stipend and the scholarship that we offer covers what they need to do and what they want to do.
Would you have some tips for those who want to apply for a scholarship?
Yeah, so I mean, my first tip, every year people always apply at the last minute, and that's never a good idea because there's always a problem in terms of our computer system. So always recommend people try and think about it early on, apply early on, and really do think about what it is that they want to write in their application, because it's not sort of very difficult. We only really ask for motivational questions. So as long as people are asking honestly, authentically, and really showing what they've done and what it means, then actually they stand a really good chance of getting through to an interview. And I think the last bit of advice I would give, though, is if anyone is feeling in any doubt about applying and they think they want to apply but they're not sure, they should. Because a lot of the time those are the candidates who really sort of like bring their full self to the interview and the application.
When does the new application cycle open for the academic year 2024-2025?
So the dates haven't been announced yet, but every year they usually, the application window opens in August and then closes in November. I don't really think there'll be much difference this year, but if there is, there'll at least be a good 2 or 3 months for people to be able to apply.
And can you tell us more about the requirements for potential candidates?
The main one is that they've completed an undergraduate course, and then that they've completed 2 years of some kind of employment somewhere. There are a few other requirements which hopefully aren't a problem. For example, someone needs to be able to speak English to a decent degree to be able to study in English. But the main ones are having had that qualification and the employment experience.
When I got a scholarship, which was back in 2016, I remember 10 of us got the Chevening Scholarship, and I know that in recent years that number has increased. So what that means, do you get better profiles, better candidates?
So it actually depends on 2 things. So it depends on yes, the quality of applicants in a country, but also how much money is available globally. So we never really know how many candidates we're going to get until the last minute, because what happens is we wait for every single candidate around the whole of the world to be interviewed. Then they allocate the money to us, and then we choose who we think are the best candidates. So if there's only 5 best candidates, we'll only go for 5. But if we have 10, we'll try and get as many as possible to go.
And who are some of the scholars from Serbia known to the public, and others who are perhaps not well known, but they're still doing great in their professions?
So we've got quite a lot of scholars, and Actually, we've just restarted, or the alumni themselves have restarted their own community to start being a bit more active and meet and come together. But we've had scholars from, I think, the full breadth of professions you can imagine. We've even had former bank governors, Goran Pitic and Milica Dalovic, who's now with EBRD, and former ministers, as I suggested, and then a lot of people from the civil society like Milan Antonijevic and others. So we try and get as many people from as different walks of life as we can.
I would also like us to talk a little bit about how Chevening program has contributed to strengthening the relations between Serbia and the UK in the past years. So directly or indirectly, how much it helped?
So I think the first thing is that I hope that it brings a more positive image of the UK. That it shows we're open for people who want to go and study in the UK and experience the UK, because quite often I see a lot in the newspapers which says something differently. But I think more concretely it allows people who, as I said, might be future leaders or opinion formers to go to the UK, really get to know the culture of what's going on and actually meet with British people there, and so that they can also understand about the culture. So hopefully it can change some of the opinions and stereotypes we both have about each other. And then here concretely in Serbia, as I said, we try and find scholars from all walks of life, from all parts of Serbia. So it helps us to understand a little bit more about what's really going on in Serbia, what people really care about, and the great contributions that they can make.
How do you assess the current relations between Serbia and the UK? And in your opinion, is Serbia currently improving its relations with Western countries or not?
Yeah, well, I'd say that the position's very different to what you'd read in the newspapers, but I think the relationship between UK and Serbia has been improving a lot in recent years across so many different things. So 5 years ago, for example, we couldn't imagine that we'd be cooperating with Serbia on issues to do with science and technology, on digitalization, on climate change issues, and as well, of course, on the political issues. Part of that has come through Chevening scholars being able to give us really good advice on what to do, and part of that is on us just working together as governments to work out what's in our mutual interest. Things like the 21st Century Schools program, where we've managed to put digital training into every single school in Serbia, is certainly something which is Serbia has welcomed, and I hope most people in Serbia have welcomed. But there's always room for improvement, and we're always welcome to more ideas about what we can do to strengthen our relations.
Finally, I would like to ask, it's been almost 2 years since you arrived here in Belgrade. Did Belgrade meet your expectations, and what do you like the most about Serbian people and the people of the capital?
So that's possibly one of the most tricky questions. Not just because I first came to Serbia in 2008 and then again in 2010, so I already had my first impressions of Serbia. So I knew that it's a really lovely country. I knew that the food is good. I knew that the countryside's great and the people are fantastic. I think what stands out for the people is that they are so welcoming and so friendly, and I have travelled sort of like to the for me they feel like very rural villages in, say, Stara Planina. I've been to cities like Novi Sad, where you're from, and everyone I've met has actually been interested in me and willing to talk to me and find out a little bit more. So I think that's the best thing I like about Serbia and its people.
Mr. Otway, thank you for this
conversation.
Thanks.
Thanks.